So chances are, you've seen the new 24-inch iMac and you're loving the design and you really want to get one. But then, despite Apple implementing their Apple Silicon to the iMac, like how they do on their iPhones and iPads, on the iMac buying page you see a whole bunch of options with colors, processors, Ethernet, Touch ID, RAM and storage. Choosing an iMac might not be the easiest thing to do, but then that's alright, I'm here to help. I'm Clem from Future Reference, and today I'm going to teach you how to choose and buy a 24-inch iMac that suits your needs at the lowest price point possible. First matter of business, we need to figure out the starting price of your iMac, whether you need the entry model at $1249 or the upgraded model at $1449. And to do that, we need to first consider the iMac color and processor. But now you might be thinking, what are you doing, Clem? Color is an aesthetic thing, processor is a spec, and how are they related in any way? Well, they're actually related according to how Apple price their iMacs. As you might know, you have 7 colors to choose from for your iMac: blue, green, pink, silver, yellow, orange, and purple. On the spec side of things, there is one version of the M1 chip with a 7-core GPU and another one with an 8-core GPU. At this point, you just need to know that the 8-core GPU is better, but more expensive. Now, here's the really irritating thing. If you really want your iMacs to be yellow, orange, or purple, that means you need to go for the $1449 model with an 8-core GPU. And for you, then the decision is made, and you can skip to the part where I talk about customizable features. If you're more liberal with your color options, like you're fine with any colors, or you can just choose from blue, green, pink, and silver, that means you need to actually make the decision between a 7-core GPU and the 8-core GPU. As I've said, the 8-core GPU is better than the 7-core GPU, but the question is, by how much? To save your time, I've done the research for you. With a combination of synthetic and gaming benchmarks, we see a 3% to 25% better graphics performance in the 8-core GPU than the 7-core GPU. But that doesn't mean that the 7-core GPU is in any way shabby. All in all, you're getting smooth playback for all your games and also content. Now, here's the verdict. If you're just using your iMac for browsing the web, watching Netflix, dealing with Microsoft Office, checking emails, and maybe playing a few lightweight games like board games, puzzles, and card games, you can just save yourself a little bit of money and go for the 7-core GPU. Your starting price will be 200 quid or $200 cheaper. However, if you're planning on venturing into something more adventurous, like you want to do some photoshopping or video editing or even play some heavier games on Apple Arcade, I think it's worth it to fork out a little bit more and get the 8-core GPU. Now, the truth is that the 7-core GPU can still handle video editing, photoshopping, and even heavier games on Apple Arcade quite well, but investing in an iMac is not quite like investing in an iPhone or a basic iPad. You will want your iMac to work well for the foreseeable future. For example, the iMac I chose for my mum back in 2012, it still handles everything smoothly for her work and entertainment needs for almost 9 years now, and this is what you would want from buying a new iMac. Next up, let's talk about the peripherals, and this is going to be easy. That's just one thing we need to talk about: the USB-C ports. You can either get an iMac with 2 USB-C ports or 4 USB-C ports, and that again comes with a difference between $1249 or $1449 for the price. Only reason why you might want 4 USB-C ports is if you're very sure that you'll be juggling with a lot of peripheral devices like printers, graphics drawing tablet, cameras, and storage devices, so on and so on. Having more USB-C ports gives you the flexibility to work with more peripheral devices at the same time. But then ask yourself, if you're just focusing on a screen most of the time and you don't really work with a lot of peripheral devices, except maybe to charge your phone, that means this will be another opportunity to save you that £200 price difference. You can go for the $1249 model with just 2 USB-C ports. And lastly, we're going to dig through the what I call customizable add-on features. At this point, if you've followed my lead and gone through the iMac colors, processors, and USB-C ports, then you should know by now whether you need an iMac starting at $1249 or $1449. Think of these two models of the iMac like pizza doughs. We have chosen one out of the two, and now we're just going to deal with the toppings, or in this case, the customizable add-on features. And those four features would be the Ethernet port, Touch ID, RAM, and storage. To start, the Ethernet port is what you use to connect the LAN or network cable into your computer. This time around, the Ethernet port is integrated into the power brick to save space on the iMac body itself. A simple question for yourself would be, do you use Wi-Fi to connect your current computer to your home network? Most probably you are, and if that's the case, you have nothing to worry about. However, if you know that your home Wi-Fi is quite crowded and you want to divert some devices to be connected by a physical network cable, that means you need an Ethernet port on your iMac. The 1449 model of the iMac comes with the Ethernet port, but then if you have the 1249 model in mind, that means you will need to pay 30 extra quid for that Ethernet port. If you wanted to get the entry model of the iMac at $1249, you will also need to think about whether you want Touch ID. Touch ID is included in the $1449 model of the iMac, but if you want to get the entry level at $1249, Touch ID will cost you an extra £50. Now, no one actually needs Touch ID. You can still unlock your iMac with a passcode. But think about it, if you needed to repeatedly unlock your iMac throughout the day when you're working, you would want it to be more of a seamless experience. And with Touch ID, unlocking your iMac is just a tap away, and I would personally recommend you to get Touch ID no matter what. What's following is the RAM, and for most of you, I will definitely recommend the upgrade to 16GB of RAM. I mean, you can stick with 8GB of RAM if you're sure that you're just working with a few documents or browser tabs at a time, but for most of you, I think you will appreciate the extra RAM in your system. Now, I know Apple's RAM upgrade options are not cheap, but it's the same thing again. We're trying to make your iMac work well for the next at least 5 years. And considering you can't upgrade your RAM after buying the iMac, we wouldn't want your iMac to be struggling with future software updates from Apple or developers developing more powerful multimedia apps. An upgrade in RAM can prevent you from needing a newer iMac prematurely, and that, in my opinion, is definitely worth it. What's more, if you are a multitasker like me, like I've got loads of things open, like there's YouTube, that's iMessage, the Facebook Messenger, Apple Music, Pixelmator, Final Cut Pro. If you've got loads of things open on your Mac at the same time, you will definitely appreciate the 16GB of RAM. It will definitely make your Mac work smoother. And finally, we've come to the storage. The 24-inch iMac gives you 256GB of storage by default. I've left storage to the very last because I think this is probably the most complicated thing you have to consider out of everything. I think it's best if I elaborate what I do with my personal files, and hopefully that can give you an idea of what sort of a storage solution would work best for you. For me, I always go for the Mac model with the base amount of storage, the cheapest option there is. I've got the 2016 MacBook Pro with 256GB of storage, and it's more than enough for me, you know? I mainly use this for my applications like Final Cut Pro, Apple Motion, Pixelmator, Microsoft Office, and so on and so on. For my personal files, I opt for having 200GB of iCloud storage. The advantage of that is that I can have access to those files anywhere with an internet connection, including my MacBook Pro, my iPad, and my iPhone. And in my opinion, it's also a very safe and reliable way to back up all my files, so I don't feel like at any point my files will just be lost somewhere. I always have my files with me. And on top of the iCloud storage, I've also got myself this. This is not sponsored. This is just an external SSD from SanDisk, and I use this exclusively for my video projects. For around £70, which is just shy of $100 I've got 500 gigabytes of storage right here in the palm of my hands. This is definitely cheaper than having to add £200 just to upgrade the SSD on an iMac from 256 gigabytes to 512 gigabytes. In my view, there are loads of other better ways to add storage to your iMac. It's considering it's just a computer sitting on your desk. If you're not running loads of large applications or virtual machines or running tons of games, 256 gigabytes is definitely fine for you, and cloud storage services like iCloud, Google Drive, or Dropbox can be your savior. And by going through all the steps, here you are, a 24-inch iMac that suits all your needs at the lowest price point possible. If you have any more questions, feel free to comment down below and I'll be answering them. And I'm also curious as to what color iMac you might choose, so tell me that as well. For now, give this video a like and subscribe to Future Reference for more of my tips, tricks and reviews in the future. This has been Clem, and I'll see you again very soon here on Future Reference.